here we are, we think of college as this pathway to a great career, right? And yet, anybody you survey right now, they're like, yeah, it doesn't really help prepare students for the workplace. Well, there's a lot missing there. And as I said, I've written a lot about that being the biggest issue facing higher ed, because it gets to ROI, the return on investment that families are thinking about. They're going to invest a lot of money. They're doing it for many reasons beyond a job, but getting a good job is their number one reason, right? Not their sole reason. So, and then the other stat that I, love sharing is that today's 18 to 24-year-olds are the least working generation in U.S. history. So that is, they've had less experience working, period, any way you measure it, right, over the last 65 years that we have data worth of measurement, right? And so, so in thinking about the gap year opportunities around that, that's where I think I've been so excited about the work you've been leading in reimagining gap year through what you just announced 48 hours ago in this Boost Year program. So just tell us a little bit about what it is, and then maybe comment on why it's really at the core geared around this work readiness issue.
Yeah, well, everything you just listed is why I'm so excited to be working on Boost at Kaplan. And we did launch it 2 days ago. We are taking registrations now for graduating seniors who are going into their college experience. And it's designed specifically for students who want to take some time off next year. And the program itself is basically reimagining the traditional gap year, but also the internship into one. And so it's an innovative program that better prepares students for their academic and career journeys. It has 3 phases to it, and all 3 phases are really around understanding what types of careers are out there, demystifying the connection between entry-level jobs and career paths, so you can figure out, how do I start at step 1 of what will inevitably be a career in marketing, business, politics, engineering, you name it, and helping students understand, how can I start my college experience with the end in mind? What are the things that I know about myself and my interests, and how can that help shape my educational path? It's meant to be a precursor to your higher ed experience, so that way you can go into higher ed, which is one of the largest investments a family will ever make, with a good idea of where you want to go. That's not to say that you can't change your mind. You very much can, but it's the idea is that we can be much more thoughtful purchase decision makers around what we do at higher ed, what majors we pick, what classes we take. I mean, I don't know about you, Brandon, but I started to understand what I wanted to be when I grew up, more like junior or senior year. And that's after I'd already taken way too many courses that had nothing to do with that, because I was, deciding that along the way and really learning about jobs for the first time a little late in the game. So the idea is to give students exposure early. Throughout the program, you assess your own skills and your own interests, because it's important for students to feel intrinsically connected to what they're going to be working hard on. We have work readiness projects that allow you to see what it's like to live those careers out in the real world within some leading companies. We're going to be able to talk a little bit more about what those amazing companies are soon. And then apply it, figuring out, now that you've learned a lot about what the working world looks like, how do you apply it to your next steps? What classes are you going to take? What internships are you going to target? What skills are you going to try to hone so you can be a successful graduate from college entering the workforce? And we can change that stat you just said about being the least working generation. The thing I just keep coming back to over and over again is the idea is there's such a small inflection point between high school and college, 3 months max. And you're also about to spend, a considerable amount of money in order to go into college. So to do it without having a deep understanding of where you might want to go, I think is just really irresponsible at this point, given all the abilities we have to prepare students with work readiness.